maybe the Flintstones had it right all along. How the Paleolithic diet could impact weight loss, a presentation created and narrated by Nikita Savlani, graduate student in the Master of Science in Nutrition and Wellness program at Benedictine University in Lisle, Illinois. What is the Paleolithic diet? The Paleo diet was designed after the primal diet of our caveman-like ancestors from what they could catch or kill with their Stone Age tools, as well as whatever green or plant-based foods they were able to gather. The Paleo diet began trending more in 2002 with the publishing of a cookbook called The Paleo Diet, written by Laurent Cordain. Since then, Mr. Cordain has shared the Paleo diet phenomenon via media outlets such as YouTube and Shape magazine, as well as maintained his website, The Paleo Diet. The Paleo diet focuses on eating whole foods that keep humans healthy over 2 million years ago during the Paleolithic era. Plus, today's food companies have begun marketing healthy food products based on being paleo-friendly. The term paleo became the 2014 most highly searched diet-related term on Google. Based on the 2015 Dietary Guidelines of Americans, to follow the paleo diet, you should ideally be taking 2 to 3 servings of plant-based foods per meal, or about 50 to 80% of your meal. With regards to protein, you should be intaking about 20 to 50% of animal-based proteins, or 25 grams of protein per meal, whether from eggs, red meat, organ meat, or other non-processed sources such as chicken or bacon. About 20 to 30% of your meals should also be fat-based in order to sustain a paleo diet. Paleo practitioners claim that fat-based foods can heal their gastrointestinal system. Such foods include, but are not limited to, nuts, seed, kimchi, sauerkraut, coconut oil, and avocados. So, how does the paleo diet work? Well, the paleo diet food groups are based on the hunter-gatherer mentality. The hunter-gatherer types of food included only what was available to civilizations over 2 million years ago, and resources varied depending on geographic location. Generally, the paleo diet is made up of lean meat, shellfish, fish, fibrous fruits and vegetables, root vegetables including sweet potatoes, eggs, seeds, nuts, and low glycemic index sugars including maple syrup and honey, and healthy oils. On the other hand, the paleo diet restricts the consumption of grains including wheats, oats, corn, and rice, legumes including beans and peanuts, dairy, refined sugars, added salt, canola oil or other processed foods, white potatoes due to their high glycemic index, and alcohol. Grains contain both gluten and lectin, which have been found to have relationships to unhealthy fat-storing responses as well as increased digestive issues. In cases where the body is in high stress and unable to break down carbohydrates, a biochemical reaction occurs in which fat stores are broken down to fuel the body. This clip from the Dr. Oz television show gives a great example of what a typical paleo plate meal would look like based on nutrient percentages. The paleo diet, being a simplified diet that eliminates processed foods, is highly supported by the scientific community. However, as a weight loss intervention, the paleo diet is still not ranked as the most effective dietary intervention. More research is still to be done. Table 1 provides a list of 9 articles that implemented a Paleolithic diet into various sample populations in order to explore the potential benefits or effects of the paleo diet on body composition, nutritional intake, and other factors connected to pre-existing medical conditions, including metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. Some studies allowed for the participants' non-randomized choice of following a non-paleo diet, including the Mediterranean diet or intermittent fasting. On the other hand, randomization was implemented in most studies comparing the effectiveness of the paleo diet to another one, that of the type 2 diabetes diet, the Nordic nutrition recommendations, an isoenergetic diet based on the Dutch Health Council, or even the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating. The paleo diet interventions provided improved average values of waist circumference, glycemic control variables, BMI, fat mass, blood lipids, triglycerides, systolic and diastolic blood pressure, fasting blood glucose, and fasting plasma insulin. Weight loss occurred over a range of 1.32 kilograms to 6.5 kilograms over a course of 3 weeks to 2 years. Additional changes in body composition included significant decreases in BMI from 0.6 to 3.3 kilograms per meter squared, significant waist circumference decreases by up to 7 centimeters, and not significant but greater decreases in fat mass. In some studies, subjects were randomly assigned an exercise regimen or to work with a nutritionist, counselor, or complete a food diary for accountability. In the studies including group counseling, educational assistance, or health professional contact, the maintenance of the paleo diet was higher, and research found significant decreases in fat mass, waist circumference, heart health risk factors, and weight. The Paleolithic diet was found to be even more effective in weight loss in adults, specifically female postmenopausal and males, when combined with moderately vigorous physical activity. In contrast to the Western diet, researchers correlate the high rates of chronic illness to the high influx of refined, processed, sodium-infused, or unhealthy foods that are available to the public. Lower rates of inflammation and lower fasting plasma leptin, which are measures of insulin sensitivity concentrations, were found in multiple study results. In comparison to dietary choices such as intermittent fasting and the Mediterranean diet, individuals sustaining a paleo-based diet will experience greater feelings of fullness or satiation after meals. Based on the general background of a Paleolithic diet alongside a consistent source of lean meat and plant foods and a consistent level of physical activity, Stone Age individuals were believed to live longer than modern-day individuals whom succumbed to diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Body composition measurements that improved with the implementation of the paleo diet included decreased body weight, fat mass, waist circumference, and body mass index. CVD risk factors that were affected positively by the paleo diet included decreased total cholesterol, systolic and diastolic blood pressure improvement, lower triglyceride count, and improved plasminogen activator inhibitor 1. Finally, some diabetes markers were influenced by the implementation of a paleo diet, including increased glycemic control and improved mean values of HbA1c. Despite the varied success levels found within these reviewed studies, there remains a disconnect in the paleo diet being a strategic and effective weight loss intervention. The participant sample sizes are limited to adults, either healthy volunteers or patients with other withstanding medical histories. The duration of studies that include the paleo diet intervention fluctuates between short 3 to 6 weeks and moderate 6 months to 2 years. The lack of control groups in some of the reviewed studies also limited the generalizability of the paleo diet as a weight loss technique. In addition, the participants were not consistently educated regarding the details of what the paleo diet intervention entailed, including the elimination of certain foods. For example, the restriction of sodium in a diet could potentially harm a subject with low blood pressure. Another potential limitation included the higher volume of water that exists in fruits and vegetables. Due to the higher consumption of fruits and vegetables in the paleo diet, the weight loss in paleo diet groups could potentially have a contributed basis to being full. Therefore, further research is required across additional demographics with longer-term interventions, clear and concise methodology, and control and experimental groups of participants. Some final thoughts on the paleo diet. There are pieces of evidence to support that a dietary intervention of a Paleolithic-type diet is potentially strong as a weight loss technique. Many of the studies mentioned aim to assess the effect of paleo diet types on patients with chronic illness. Within these subgroups, levels of weight loss range between 1 to 6 kilograms. The paleo principles compared to maintenance of other dietary interventions provided results pointing to higher levels of satiation and decreased CVD factors. Improved retention of knowledge was also included when paired with additional exercise, counseling, or educational services. Additional research, excluding exploratory or pilot studies, are recommended to improve the significant efficacy of Paleolithic dietary interventions on long-term weight loss and maintenance. An increase in number of participants, duration of study intervention, and consistent methodology will assist in improving the nutritional grade of evidence of the paleo diet from a grade 3 to a grade 2. Here you will find the list of full references cited and utilized to complete this presentation. If you have further questions, please do not hesitate to comment below. Thank you for your time, and I hope you learned something about the paleo diet with regards to weight loss.